Still trying to get myself into those common law courts so I can burn those son of a bitches for what they did to me.
I love it.
What, KL here, and he's good, and he's supposed to call me later, so I'm going to have him on as a guest, so maybe even as early as next week. This guy is, I'm impressed every time I hear him speak and every time I hear anything with him, so.
Yeah, I was impressed with Mr. Lentz's observance of common law. What I found is sort of a pattern. I found that most of the courts on the East Coast, not most of the courts in the upper states of the East Coast, Pennsylvania, New York, Rhode Island, I think, Massachusetts, or some of them, the common law is very easy to get into. The states in the middle of the United States, the common law is almost unheard of. As far as I can tell, I mean, Washington State, California, you can get into it. Washington, you can get into it. Arizona, you can get into it. I can't see anybody in the middle of the United States who's getting into common law. They're getting burned. Everybody's getting burned here.
I haven't heard too many people getting into common law courts in the state of Washington where I live. Most of them are governed by the, the UCC.
Okay.
And Admiralty law.
Sorry about that. I didn't actually see the titlings for the common law courts of Washington. I just knew of the people that were, redeeming themselves up there.
Well, what's happening, I think, more than anything else, is people are finally challenging the courts and forcing them back into a common law mode. But most of the judges, unfortunately, previous lawyers, trained in our liberal colleges and members of the bar, they're pre-programmed. And if you mention the Constitution or common law in most of these courts, and they'll laugh you out of the court.
I've been laughed at every one. I've been condemned for not sitting down. I was in prison for 7 months in solitary confinement because I questioned the court. I'm not kidding you.
Good Lord. What state are you in?
Nebraska.
Court.
I didn't hear. Somebody talked over you.
Yeah, it's just called over here. The reason why they laugh at you over the court, were you the prosecutor? Were you the party?
Not according to them, I wasn't.
Okay, well then there's nothing on file with your name on it stating that you're the prosecutor and you're demanding, you're invoking your Ninth Amendment right to move a common law court of record. And what they're going to do, they're going to rely upon the contract and the rules of the cases before them. And if the contract, the rules, and the statutes that are before them has no provisions in there about using the Bible or the Constitution in your defense, they're going to laugh you out of court because you're not moving in a common law court. You're not the prosecutor.
Right.
The prosecutor makes the rules, not you.
That's right.
So when you prosecute, when you make the rules, you tell the court, this is a common law court of record. This will abide by the court of record. This will operate under the Ninth Amendment, 6th, 7th Amendment. It will. If it's criminal, it's 6. If it's civil, it's 7.
I just caught something on my paperwork 2 days ago. I went into a preliminary hearing for disturbing the peace call where I got into it with a friend of mine's neighbors, and they came out of their house and started threatening us and stuff, yelling at us and stuff. So I went over and started questioning them over what they thought damages were. And they got more and more irate the closer I got to them. And when I leaned on the front of the one guy's truck, it was on a public street, mind you, he started going irate and telling me he was going to kill me and stuff. So I moved closer towards him and asked him what he considered damages and stuff. And I got on the sidewalk and stuff. And they had called the police and everything, but at some point I just turned around and walked off. The police tried to drive up at that time, and they talked to us for about an hour or so. There's 5, 6 people show up, the 4 people from the other house, and then me and my buddy. And meanwhile, I was talking, the 4th person shows up. It's the old guy that lives there, and he shows up with a tire iron, jumps out of his truck, and rushes one of the cops. They tackle him from behind and arrest him for something, I don't know, assaulting the officer with a weapon or something. Then they come up and they tell me that they want to give me a ticket for trespassing. I said, well, I'm not running your ticket. That's simple. And they needed me to identify myself, and I wouldn't identify myself.
You said what?
I wouldn't identify myself. I gave them my name, but I wouldn't give them an identification card showing that I'm within the state.
But what I'm trying to say is we folks have to start to learn this, man. When they give you anything, any piece of paper, man, that's an instant dollar instant way to make some instant fast cash if you know how to process that bill, that order that they're giving you. Just ask them, oh, wow,
Yeah.
sir,
If I know how to process it. And if the Secretary of State would allow me to secure my citizenship, I would have a better opportunity at screwing the courts out of the bonds and securities that they take out on my claim.
it's way too
That's not the point. The point is, I want to burn these people for taking action against me that they swear they wouldn't take.
All you had to do is somebody comes up to you and they ask you for ID. You say, oh, lovely, I haven't been in a while. That's great. Sir, can I take your order? Is that an order that you're demanding me to perform? Oh, yes, lovely. Okay, and then you hand them it. It's just like going into a waitress at Denny's or McDonald's drive-thru.
I understand.
McDonald's,
I understand that. I understand all that.
McDonald's can't make McDonald's can't money.
Okay. There's a huge good bullying network out here. Okay. When you get the shit beat out of you by these police, they cover each other's back.
You're not going to get.
They don't go out of their way to do the right thing. Okay. So when you get pulled over and an officer asks you what your address is, and you tell him it's on the license, and he can write it down if he wants, he tells you he's going to arrest you for not giving you your address, for not giving him your address. What do you think that's going to happen? 7 months later, they kick you out of jail 6 weeks after they drop the charges because nobody even bothered to tell you that they dropped the charges.
If the cop orders me to give me my shirt, I'll give him my shirt, my shoes, my pants, whatever he wants. He's going to place an order with me. Thank God. You know this guy's got cash somewhere. You're going to process your bill. You're going to say, wow, that's a lovely order. I love taking them.
In the meantime, after the fact, I want to take him into court and get my money from him. But in the meantime, I want to take him into court and get my money. After the fact, before I charge him for the orders he wants to give me, that's fine. Okay? Are you the man who gun in my face and tells me that I'm going to have to accept his orders? Okay, I've got no problem with that. No problem. But after the fact, I want to burn him.
You said you refused to cooperate with him. You refused to engage in commerce. You refused to intercourse with him, right? You said you weren't.
I did not refuse. I gave him the identification card and all that. I went through the process of identifying myself in that particular instance. These are two different instances. This other instance just happened like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I did not identify myself. I did not contract with them. I'm not part of the municipality that they're charging me under the code.
Were you on a YouTube video with the green car?
I'm sorry, say that again?
You the man on the YouTube video with the green car when the cop said, are you going to
yeah.
Was that you? Okay.
Yep.
Do you remember the next thing the cop said to you? He said to you, am I going to have to place you under arrest?
Let me think. Did he say that exactly? I thought he said something like, if you don't give me your address, I'm going to arrest you. Or if you don't answer my questions, I'm going to arrest you, is what he said. And I said to him, let me get this straight, you're going to arrest me for not giving you my address? And he said, yes, I am. And I said, okay.
And then he said, okay, you agreed. Why didn't you say his order?
You bet I agree. He's got a fucking gun. He's going to shoot me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. He's got a gun. He's going to shoot me in the head if I don't get out of the car and do what he wants. I mean,
the video, the man said, if you don't cooperate, I'm going to have to arrest you. You want me to arrest you? I said, okay. You would say, you know what? Yeah, this is a pretty nice day to be arrested. You know what? Is that an order? Can I take that? Hang on a second. Would you like to place an order with me to be arrested? Oh, lovely. I'd love to take you.
Okay, granted.
What are you going to do with it?
You can put all those orders and stuff together and say and all that, but the bottom line is I didn't consent to anything. Okay, I'm being duressed here. This isn't a contracting process.
This man was on video camera, saw the arrest on YouTube. You better believe that if he ordered me, I'd be placing all kinds of orders when I went before the courts. Like, see, he ordered me, and then he ordered me again, this is $10,000 for this order, $30,000 for this order. Oh, he forgot to ask me how much I was going to put. It's like going through the drive-thru at McDonald's. You say, I'll take 2 Happy Meals and 3 orders of fries and a large cup.
And what happens, I understand that. Now, a lot of people on this show understand that. You can't be ordered around without being paid for it. That's a given. Unless you accept it.
So just
when you try to sue them for it, in these states in the middle, they screw you out of your remedy by keeping you in their private courts. I just noticed the other day on my current criminal charges for disturbance that changed miraculously into they morphed into other charges, but I noticed on the paperwork, when I bonded, the heading from one court came from the Lancaster County Court in the 3rd Judicial District in lowercase Lincoln, Nebraska. Now, the other paperwork that I got from the Lancaster County Court comes from the Lancaster County Court in Lincoln, Nebraska, or in Lancaster, Nebraska, or Lancaster County, Nebraska. They're two different courts. The one court where my bond is sitting is the Chancery Court. The one court where my case is sitting is the private court.
It's not your case.
Hey guys, and it is too my case. My name's on it and my money's in it.
Hey, hold up guys. Jack here. Let me bring this back on target. Ron, you still with me?
I'm still there, but if you're heading off in this direction, I'm probably going to go away.
No. I want to get back. Ron is my guest tonight, guys. And Karl, like I said, I want you to call me and schedule you on. If you guys, again, I'll give out my information. Get a pencil ready. You want to call me? It's 559 area code 291-6188. My email is Bauer, B-O-W-E-R, secret, S-E-C-R-E-C, Bauer, secret at gmail.com.
All right.
Or you can hit me on my Skype, and the Skype name to get me at is michael.w.golden. Send me a request. I get half a dozen every time we do a show, and I approve them immediately, and we can talk that way also. Anyway, guys, it's great, great information, absolutely. But this is a show I want to do with you, Karl. If you'll be on my show next week, we'll dedicate the whole 2 hours to you, either show. So please.
And by the way, I think it is great information because it is our defense within the court system, and most people have no idea. They just bow down to whatever the court decrees.
But what I'm trying to say to you folks, if you're stylized as the defendant, it is not your case, it's somebody else's case. Who's ever the prosecutor, who's ever built the case against you, it's their case, and you're just one of the pieces of the puzzle to them. You're not. It's not your case. It's not all about you. It's all about the prosecutor. It's not about the defendant. So if you want it to be your case, you have to make a claim against them that they administrated your property without rights, or they interfered with your right to travel, or they did some wrong to you. But as long as you're the defendant, it's their case under their rules, and they're moving to whatever court they wish. Now, if you don't wish to be under a case private court, lower case private court, you don't wish to do that, you then say, I have the right, under Article 9 of the Bill of Rights, to move it into a common law court of rights. Now, if it's a criminal, it's 6. If it's civil, it's 7. And I have the right to move for a trial by jury. And nobody in the black robe can interpret my beliefs except for the jury. Nobody can interpret my claim or my case except for the jury. That person in a black robe, the clerks of the courts, can't interfere with that process. They're not allowed to look in your case. They're not allowed to read your claim. They're not allowed to do anything.
Karl, if I could, Ron, might he be a good contributor to the articles that you're going to write?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch you.
Might he be a good contributor to the articles that you're going to post?
Very definitely, because we do write from time to time about areas in which people can defend themselves within the court system. But I'm not a lawyer, and I have not been up against it like you guys have. So my background in that area is sorely lacking.
Absolutely. I've never been a defendant ever. Anybody ever tried to classify me or categorize me or pin me into the category of a defendant, I've always leaped around and went right after the swooped around, became the prosecutor.
So essentially you're taking an offense position rather than remain as a defendant.
Always, because the only thing I could hurt is another flesh and blood human being. Other than that, there's nothing I could hurt. I can't hurt Coca-Cola, Bank of America, the state of Alabama. I can't hurt anybody but another man. So if any fiction tries to claim, which they can't claim because only man can make a claim, if any fiction tries to file a complaint, a criminal complaint against me, I just flip it around immediately. I say, you try to administrate my property without any rights? Oh, because only man has rights. Oh, guess what? You have duty, obligations, responsibilities, liabilities. Not me. I'm a man. I've got rights.
Can I say something here?
Sure.
If a corporation owns property and you damage that property, are you damaging that corporation?
Some man, like a stockholder or the owner of that corporation, would have to come forth and, make a claim.
In the name of that property. In the name of that. In the legal name of that corporation.
He would have to show or inaction as the direct cause of his loss. of the monetary loss or property
You
loss.
bet. You bet.
So again, Ron, getting back to your site,
Not an attorney.
great. Yeah, Carl, your step is excellent. Ron, getting back to your step.